Hello, and welcome to the 5th annual EDASC Investor Appreciation Celebration, where we honor all of you who support sustainable, equitable, and inclusive economic development in Skagit County. We look forward to hosting this event every year, providing time to eat, drink, connect, and learn how your EDASC investment has positively impacted the community. While we are unable to come together this year due to COVID-19, we still want to update you on everything we've accomplished in 2020. Unfortunately, you're on your own this year for eating and drinking. During this health and resulting economic crisis, Skagit County businesses, along with those in the rest of the state, country, and world, have faced great adversity. But through these difficult times, I'm proud to say that EDASC has more than been up to this challenge as we lead the local economic development recovery effort. Let's take a look back at 2020 by counting down EDASC's top 10 activities, presented in no particular order. Of course, the biggest headline of the year is the pandemic. As soon as things began to shut down, EDASC sprang into virtual action. We created online resources for businesses and residents and very quickly began to help them access resources relating to safe operations or financial assistance, such as PPP and EIDL. We also connected companies pivoting to manufacturing personal protective equipment and hand sanitizer. Meanwhile, EDASC continued its normal array of business assistance services. This includes proposals to 66 potential new companies, assistance provided to almost 850 businesses, and involvement at over 600 community building activities. Once small business emergency grants became available, starting with the first $10 million from Governor Inslee's Working Washington Fund, EDASC turned into a part-time grant administrator. Let's hear more from EDASC Economic Development Manager, the amazing Tamsin Bell, about how much money has gone to how many Skagit businesses. And then we'll hear from the hard-working Mount Vernon Mayor and EDASC board member, Jill Boudreau.
It was clear from the start of the pandemic that our business community needed further help offsetting revenue loss. EDASC worked on behalf of local governments to administer 10 small business grant programs, working with the county, state, Mount Vernon, Sedro-Woolley, LaConner, Lyman, and Concrete. Since the start of the pandemic, I'm happy to say we've issued 257 grant awards worth a total of over $2.4 million. This infusion of money also helped our small businesses retain 1,676 jobs. Reactions to receiving this award have been that of relief. These business owners are happy to get this money, which they do not have to pay back like a loan. Though the money does help, we do understand that these grants won't solve every problem for our businesses. So please, wear a mask and do your part to manage cases so we are able to get healthy and reopen.
The restrictions and lockdowns, though necessary, really hurt our businesses. Our small businesses in particular were hit the hardest. Most small business owners do not have a backup plan for a disruption of this magnitude. We worked with EDASC on 2 different grant programs, awarding a total of $370,000 to 60 small businesses and micro enterprises. The response from these businesses was extremely heartening. They were so grateful to receive help. We understand it may not be enough to cover all of the needs, but our hope is that the infusion of support makes a meaningful impact for those hit the hardest by COVID-19 restrictions. The City of Mount Vernon is grateful to have a partner like EDASC, who did a fantastic job supporting our 2 grant programs. We appreciate everything EDASC does for the community and look forward to continue working together.
Advanced manufacturing is the most lucrative sector of Skagit's economy, and maritime products are a big part of that, along with aerospace. The maritime sector also includes tourism, transportation, and logistics, and our region is well suited to pursue maritime business, especially in the clean and green aspect. EDASC created the Anacortes Maritime Strategy in partnership with the City and Port of Anacortes. But maritime businesses stretch from one end of our county to the other. Skagit manufacturers stand to benefit from an important new project arising from work by Beaker Boats in Anacortes and involving both ports, Skagit County, EDASC, and potentially other manufacturers such as Janicki Industries and Loveley. Jennifer States of Washington Maritime Blue will now tell you more about the grant-winning consortium joining forces to produce the first fast foil ferry that will revolutionize the Washington State ferry system. Then we'll hear from Port of Anacortes Executive Director and EDASC board member, Dan Wura, about how the EDASC Maritime Symposium brings the entire sector together to learn about more opportunities to grow our maritime businesses.
Hello, I'm Jennifer States, Director for Blue Economy at DNVGL North America. I also serve as Project Director for Washington Maritime Blue. Washington Maritime Blue, the state's maritime cluster lead, is working with a number of partners, including EDASC, to speed the design of a fast foil ferry. The ferry promises a leap forward in zero-emission, high-speed passenger ferry service for the Puget Sound region and beyond. With leadership from Washington Maritime Blue and DNVGL, private partners include Gloston, a naval architect and marine engineering firm, Beaker Boats, a performance marine craft designer. Public partners include the Port of Anacortes, Port of Bellingham, Port of Skagit, Tacoma Power, and Kitsap Transit. EDASC's connections within the industry locally have been invaluable as we've built this unique public-private consortium. EDASC has offered support, convening regional partners, and has helped connect the dots on building this team and linking us with regional resources. We look forward to continuing work with EDASC to connect us with Skagit vendors as we move to the next stage for completing the ferry design and beginning construction of the vessels. Thank you very much.
EDASC has been a fantastic partner in helping to advance the maritime sector locally. The Skagit County Maritime Symposiums are the latest examples of that, bringing together the entire local community to learn about opportunities to bring our maritime businesses together and discuss topics like workforce needs, clean tech, education, and more. These maritime cluster meetings assert Skagit County's place as a center of maritime excellence and serve as an official avenue to interact with the Washington Maritime Blue state sector. By creating this cluster, Skagit County businesses and organizations have more opportunities to receive funding and international interest. When able, the plan is to continue more symposiums, 3 or 4 a year, when we can do it safely. EDASC, thank you very much, and thank you, investors, for making this work possible.
EDASC incorporates equity and inclusion in everything we do. The Federal Reserve Bank and many others have identified systemic racism as an economic and a moral issue. We know that we all do better when everyone has an opportunity for shared prosperity, since a healthy middle class recirculates earnings at a much greater rate. And many different studies demonstrate that diversity and inclusion helps a company's bottom line. A Citigroup study recently released finds that during the past 20 years, race-based inequalities have shaved about $16 trillion from our national gross domestic product. So, with this moral and economic mandate, EDASC formed a new Education and Equity Committee headed by Dr. Tom Keegan to provide educational opportunities and develop equity-based economic development programs for the entire community. This committee will oversee a learning series about economic aspects of inequality, both historic and current, and also will feature the reboot of EDASC's acclaimed Latino Business Retention and Expansion Program. With the retirement of our admired colleague, Dr. Diana Morelli-Klima, the program founder, now is the time to reassess the community's needs in equity-based economic development? How can we support entrepreneurs and businesses that face various obstacles common to underserved communities? We will be asking that question to come up with the best programs possible. EDASC board member, United Way of Skagit County Executive Director, and new community leader, Craig Chambers, will talk about our collective commitment to work on justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion issues in economic development.
In our history, there's always been economic inequities in communities of color. As a Black man, I have firsthand understanding of these difficulties. As a clear leader in terms of economic growth in Skagit County, EDASC has always taken a strong stance to do its part to promote social justice and equity. Not only is this important from a social and human rights standpoint, but it's important from an economic one as well. EDASC is passionate about working to create opportunities for the entire population. I am happy to serve on the EDASC board and thankful for the opportunity to work towards giving representation to BIPOC people.
An award-winning program of EDASC in partnership with Skagit Valley College. Leadership Skagit has benefited over 500 alumni since its inception in 2004. This year has seen monumental change and evolution in the program, beginning with the planned departure of the founding mother of the program, the fabulous Catherine Bennett, in December. This January, we welcomed the phenomenal Mary Heffernan Trester as the new Leadership Skagit Program Manager. Mary, who formerly held important adult education posts at Edmonds Community College, joined the EDASC staff and began working in collaboration with curriculum manager Dr. Laura Flores-Caillou of Skagit Valley College and EDASC program support, the remarkable Sunny Sires. Together, they have updated the program in general, and particularly with regard to what they call JEDI, Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. And on top of all of that, they've had to adjust to the realities of the pandemic and make the program a virtual learning experience. In that, they have succeeded admirably, graduating the class of 2020 in a fantastic ceremony and kicking off the class of 2021. Here to tell you more is EDASC's Leadership Skagit Program Manager, Mary Heffernan Trester.
Like many of our local businesses and organizations, Leadership Skagit pivoted to address COVID-19. There is no better testament to the program's ability to successfully adapt, moving a grounded program into the virtual world. To maintain the program's highly experiential platform, participants sign up for field trips and interviews in advance of the monthly challenge days. They also pick up toolkits from EDASC filled with learning supplies, books, maps, and more. This enables participants to enhance their learning by having specialized encounters and reporting what they've learned about our community, including the strengths, challenges, and needs in our county. We are so fortunate to have Skagit Valley College's Dr. Laura Flores-Caillou, who crafts and fine-tunes the curriculum. Her work leads to participants gaining knowledge in what's called JEDI leadership, which stands for Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, along with communications, leadership styles, and much, much more. I love my role with EDASC. I have a passion for learning and creating opportunities for others. Guiding and watching Leadership Skagit participants navigate through the program is incredibly rewarding. Seeing participants gain confidence in their own voice and willingness to challenge themselves in their own professional and personal and public lives. I can't wait to see what comes next.
Economic development is the ultimate team sport. To be successful as a community and as a region, we must work collaboratively across Skagit County and with our neighbors in Northwest Washington. There is so much connectivity with education, pre-K through 16 plus, healthcare, transportation, all levels of government, business and industry, nonprofits, arts and culture, and all of those things make a strong community and region. Let's hear from some of our partners. Michael Stark, Executive Director of the Skagit Community Foundation, Kristen Ekstrand of Skagit County Public Health, also the facilitator of the Population Health Trust, and Peter Browning, CEO of the Burlington Chamber of Commerce and soon to be a Skagit County Commissioner. Finally, we'll hear from our congressional representatives, Susan Del Bene.
EDASC has always been an invaluable partner to the Skagit Community Foundation. Our mission of connecting people who care to causes that matter often intersects with EDASC's work of sustainable and inclusive economic development. At the start of the pandemic, suddenly there was a huge demand and strain placed on nonprofit organizations supporting vulnerable populations and critical human needs. Organizations like food banks, diaper banks, shelters, and others were really being taxed. We partnered with EDASC to create the Skagit Valley Disaster Relief Fund to help these organizations. It really has been amazing seeing all of the donations pouring into this fund and in turn, being able to distribute those funds to these essential nonprofits. By banding together and dedicating our time, talents, and resources, we can overcome any challenge. Thank you, EDASC, for your continued partnership.
We started the Skagit COVID Crushers Commendation Program to highlight individuals and organizations stepping up to support the community during the pandemic. When the crisis began, the Population Health Trust had to cancel its annual event, providing an update on the state of health in Skagit County and announcing the Skagit Changemaker Award. Following the cancellation, we still thought we needed to be the voice of leadership to encourage the collaboration of people to work together for the greater good. Thus was born the Skagit COVID Crushers Commendation, a collaborative effort among EDASC, Community Action of Skagit County, North Coast Credit Union, the Population Health Trust, United Way of Skagit County, and Skagit Publishing. The honor was awarded weekly and featured in the Skagit Valley Herald. It was inspiring to see the nominations come in every week and to see what local community members were doing to support each other. EDASC has also been an amazing partner to Population Health Trust, especially during the pandemic. It has worked hard to hold up the concept that we are all in this together. Business can't function without public health, and public health can't function without economic vitality. Thank you, EDASC.
The local chambers of commerce have always valued our partnership with EDASC. Despite COVID-19, the chambers, EDASC, and our other partners, after years of planning, finally established a tourism promotion area with the goal of marketing Skagit County worldwide as a travel destination. This boost in tourism will have positive impacts on Skagit County, including generating local taxes and drawing talented people to visit and even possibly to move here. We also valued working with EDASC this year during our COVID-19 response, helping to make sure our businesses knew about grant programs. We'd also like to thank EDASC for providing a total of $50,000 in grant funds to the county's 6 chambers and 1 downtown association. Thank you, EDASC.
Hi, it's Susan. Thank you for inviting me to join you virtually. It's been a pleasure to work with EDASC over the years and the business and community leaders that they bring together. This year has been challenging for everyone because of the coronavirus pandemic. It's not only a public health crisis, it's also an economic crisis for families, workers, and businesses. That's why the regular calls that EDASC hosts with other economic development and chamber groups are so important to me. Hearing directly from you helps me better understand how the pandemic impacts our communities. Your feedback on the policy solutions that I'm working on, like the expansion of the Employee Retention Tax Credit, is also crucial. Our ongoing partnership will continue to guide my work in Congress as we all work to respond to this crisis. I want to thank EDASC again for inviting me to join you and for your leadership in our community. Thank you. And please, everyone, stay safe and stay healthy.
One of the most important things EDASC has done this past year is ramp up our communications. EDASC's board chair, Heather Hernandez, just happens to be the publisher at Skagit Publishing. So let's ask the expert, about the importance of communications in our community. Also, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to Heather for her 2 years as EDASC's board chair. She does so much for our community, even beyond that workload, and we appreciate her talents, her wisdom, and her fun so much. After that, EDASC's communications manager, the eloquent Erin Weinberg, will give us the inside view.
Hi, my name's Heather Hernandez. I've served as the EDASC board chair for the past 2 years. I'm also the president and publisher at Skagit Publishing and a regional president for our parent company, Adams Publishing. EDASC does a fantastic job with its communications, helping keep the business community apprised of important updates, whether it's through its weekly newsletters, website articles, social media, or in print. EDASC is a fantastic source for important economic development and business updates, and also a valuable resource of information. During the pandemic, especially early on, EDASC communications took on added importance. Businesses were flooded with all kinds of new and oftentimes confusing information, whether it was PPP loans, safety best practices, or essential business classification. EDASC broke down and disseminated the information that you needed in ways that worked best for you, whether it was on its website, newsletter, or in print. As a publisher of multiple newspapers and websites, I'm proud to see EDASC continuing to provide the public with up-to-date and easy-to-understand information. Now let's hear from EDASC Communications Manager Erin Weinberg about some new communication updates.
EDASC in 2020 made some exciting improvements to its website and annual Skagit Business Guide. Our website has always been the first stop for site selectors researching things like available properties, infrastructure, and quality of life. We want them to see the best of what Skagit County has to offer. With our redesign, we not only placed an emphasis on a cleaner design and engaging visuals, but also focused on ease of use. Take, for example, our new Skagit County Toolbox. It provides a one-stop shop for businesses looking to learn about and move to Skagit County. The website is also easy to update, so as Heather mentioned, when COVID-19 hit, we were able to very quickly add important new resources for businesses, entrepreneurs, and community members. In early 2020, EDASC unveiled its new look Skagit Business Guide. This was really an opportunity to tell our story in an engaging and powerful way, while also highlighting our investors. We emphasized quality content, from photographs to the articles. Even the investor directory got a facelift. It looks like and reads like a magazine. We hear all the time that people love it and read it. In fact, this is the first year EDASC has ever run out of copies of the guide. I'm happy to be a part of the EDASC team and enjoyed tackling these projects. We're all passionate about transparency when appropriate and are happy to keep the Skagit community informed.
Everyone sees the work EDASC does in the community, but we cannot do what we do without the internal organizational structure that must be in place and functioning smoothly. The multi-talented Audrey Ramerman, EDASC's Director of Finance and Administration, makes sure it happens. Audrey?
EDASC prides itself on being a fiscally responsible organization. My job is to help make the best decisions possible with the funds our community has invested. We take that very seriously. In 2020, we finalized the merger between EDASC and the EDASC Foundation, turning EDASC into a 501c3 nonprofit to streamline operations while opening the door for new grant funding opportunities. The general public really won't notice a difference, besides EDASC having more time for even more programming. The real changes are behind the scenes, improving organizational efficiencies, saving administrative time, and more. We're no longer balancing 2 sets of books, maintaining 2 boards of directors, and recording 2 sets of taxes. As a nonprofit, funding is always important. We are so grateful to our investors. At the beginning of the year, we really didn't know what to expect when COVID hit. But you stood by us. Not only that, EDASC was thrilled to welcome so many new businesses to join EDASC as investors. Without all of your support, we really couldn't do this great work for the community, so thank you.
Given all the stresses of the pandemic and the disruption of every team member working from home, the level of productivity of our EDASC team is most impressive and greater than ever. Every single team member has gone above and beyond on behalf of our community, and we have figured out new ways to work together, as so many of you have too in your businesses. I am grateful every day to work with such an amazing and brilliant team of Audra, Tamsin, Aaron, Mary, and Sunny. And we have so much fun while we're doing all this important work too. Finally, let's hear from EDASC Board's Vice Chair, Dr. Chris Johnston, CAO of Peace Health United General, and Skagit County Commissioner and past EDASC Board Chair, Lisa Janicki. They will talk about what your support means to EDASC and how you can become even more involved.
EDASC pandemic recovery efforts have been well publicized this year, but its work since it was founded about 50 years ago has always been vital in helping achieve a prosperous, sustainable, and equitable community while maintaining Skagit County's natural beauty and quality of life.
Your continued investment in EDASC is much appreciated and necessary in creating a better Skagit County. Thanks to investors like you, EDASC provides all kinds of assistance to help businesses overcome any obstacle and reach their goals. And thanks to you, these services are offered at no cost to these businesses. Services like business expansion support, one-on-one advising, and much more. In my former career as CFO of Janicki Industries, I dealt with economic development officials in Washington and other states too, so I understand the importance of this work. EDASC not only does the day-to-day work of helping businesses grow and locate here, but also looks at the bigger picture of long-term sustainable and responsible economic growth across all of Skagit County. That focus helps us grow in the directions we want.
If your business needs assistance, reach out to EDASC for a solution. As you've heard throughout this video, there are also a number of ways to get involved in EDASC, so please reach out to us. If you want to work together on any of our projects, such as the Economic Recovery Plan, Maritime Symposium, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, or anything else. Once again, thank you for your support, and please remember to invest in EDASC to support our economic future for businesses large, small, and in between, and all the people who depend on those businesses.
It is our responsibility to leave a healthy community for our children and make sure everyone shares in this prosperity. Thank you for supporting EDASC with your investments and your time in this effort.
Thank you for your virtual attendance today. I'd like to extend our many thanks to the members of the EDASC Board of Directors who take time from their important work to support economic development in Skagit County. Their expertise, insight, and dedication help us to succeed. And thank you again to Trico Companies for your sponsorship of this event. We also would like to thank John Bowie and Transmedia Vision for their expertise and talent in creating this video, and our amazing communications manager, Aaron Weinberg, who now has many acclaimed productions under his belt. We also thank all of our important guest stars today. We wish you a happy and very healthy holiday season. Please take care. Thank you.